Welcome back to the Denver Stock Lab. I am so glad you are here. If you're watching this, it means you've already taken the first two big steps in your investing journey. In our last episode, we broke down market cap, which is how we figure out the total price tag of a company like Apple or Amazon. But today, we are going to go one step deeper. It is one thing to know how much a company costs, but it is another thing entirely to know if that price is actually a good deal. This is Stock 101, Episode 3, and today we are tackling the PE ratio. Now, before you hear that term and think about switching off the video because it sounds like a math test, let me stop you right there. This video is built specifically for the absolute beginner. You do not need a finance degree, you don't need to be a math whiz, and you definitely don't need any prior experience in the stock market. We are going to keep things simple, conversational, and jargon-free. The big question we are answering today is this: are you paying a fair price for your stocks, or are you getting ripped off? Think about it. If you see a stock trading for $100 and another stock trading for $10, which one is cheaper? Most people would say the $10 stock. But by the end of this video, you're going to realize that the $10 stock might actually be the most expensive thing you ever buy, while the $100 stock could be a massive bargain. Here is our roadmap for today. First, we are going to define what the PE ratio actually is using some everyday analogies that have nothing to do with Wall Street. Second, we are going to pull back the curtain on a real-world giant, NVIDIA, and calculate their PE together using real data so you can see how it works in the wild. Third, I am going to warn you about the cheap trap. This is the number one mistake I see beginners make that costs them thousands of dollars. And finally, we'll look at how to compare NVIDIA to the rest of the market so you can spot a true opportunity. By the time we finish this session, you are going to have a superpower. You won't just be looking at stock prices anymore. You'll be looking at value. You will be able to open any finance app, look at a company, and understand exactly what the market thinks about its future. You're moving from being a spectator to being an analyst. So, grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive in. Let's start with the basics. What does PE actually stand for? It stands for price to earnings. That is it. It is a ratio that compares the price of one share of stock to the amount of profit that company makes for that single share. In the world of investing, we have a specific word for profit, and that word is earnings. Whenever you hear a news anchor talk about earnings season, they are just talking about the time of year when companies report how much profit they made. To understand why this ratio matters, let's step away from the stock market for a second and go to a local neighborhood. Imagine there are two lemonade stands on your street. Stand A is a small table with a hand-drawn sign, and they sell about 10 cups a day. Stand B is a professional-looking booth with a line of people around the block. Now, let's say both owners want to sell you their entire business. The owner of Stand A wants $100 for his business. The owner of Stand B wants $1,000 for hers. At first glance, Stand A looks cheaper because 100 is less than 1,000. But that doesn't tell us anything about the value. To find the value, we have to look at the earnings. If Stand A only makes $10 a year in profit, and you pay $100 for it, it will take you 10 years of owning that business just to make back your original investment. But if Stand B makes $500 a year in profit, and you pay $1,000 for it, you will make your money back in just 2 years. Even though Stand B has a higher price tag, it is actually the much better deal because it earns more money relative to what you paid. That, in a nutshell, is the PE ratio. It tells you how many dollars you are paying for every $1 of profit the company earns. If a company has a PE of 20, it means you are paying $20 for every $1 of their yearly earnings. Another way to think about it is that the PE ratio tells you how many years it would take for the company to pay you back your investment if their profit stayed exactly the same and they gave all that money to you. Now, why do we use a ratio instead of just looking at the profit? Because companies come in all different sizes. Comparing the total profit of a massive company like NVIDIA to a small local tech startup is like comparing the weight of an elephant to the weight of a mouse. It doesn't give you a fair comparison. The PE ratio levels the playing field. It shrinks everything down to a per-share basis so you can compare any two companies side by side, no matter how big or small they are. Let's define one more term before we move on. Earnings per share, or EPS. You are going to see this acronym everywhere. It is exactly what it sounds like. You take the total profit of the company and divide it by the total number of shares that exist. If a company made $1 million in profit and there are 1 million shares, the EPS is $1. The PE ratio is simply the current stock price divided by that EPS. Price divided by earnings. P divided by E. The beauty of this number is that it acts as a temperature check for a stock. It tells you how much excitement or hype is built into the price. If people are really excited about a company's future, they are willing to pay a lot of money today for the profits the company will make tomorrow. This drives the price up, which makes the P/E ratio higher. If people are worried about a company or think it's dying, they won't pay much for it, which keeps the P/E ratio low. Think of it like buying a house. If you buy a house in a neighborhood where a new Google headquarters is being built, you might pay a very high price relative to the current rent you could collect. Why? Because you expect the value to skyrocket later. You are paying a premium for future growth. But if you buy a house in a town where the main factory just closed down, the price will be very low relative to the rent. The P/E of that house is low because the future looks bleak. So, when you see a P/E ratio, don't just think of it as a math equation. Think of it as a measurement of expectations. A high P/E means the world expects great things. A low P/E means the world is skeptical. Neither one is automatically good or bad. They are just reflections of what investors believe is going to happen next. As a beginner, your job isn't to find the lowest number possible. Your job is to understand why the number is what it is. Now that we have the concept down, let's look at a real-world example that everyone is talking about right now, NVIDIA. If you follow the news at all lately, you know NVIDIA is the king of the artificial intelligence revolution. They make the powerful chips that allow AI like ChatGPT to function. Because of this, their stock price has exploded. A lot of beginners look at NVIDIA's stock price and say, "Wow, it's so expensive, I must have missed the boat." But is it actually expensive, or is the price justified by their earnings? Let's look at the numbers. As of the time we are filming this, let's look at some approximate data to keep the math clean for our example. Imagine NVIDIA is trading at about $130 per share. That is our P, or our price. Now, we need to find the E, the earnings per share. If we look at their most recent financial reports, let's say their earnings for the past year come out to about $1.80 per share. To find the P/E ratio, we simply take 130 and divide it by 1.80. That gives us a P/E ratio of roughly 72. Now let's pause. What does that 72 actually mean? It means that for every $1 of profit NVIDIA made last year, investors are currently willing to pay $72 to own a piece of it. If you compare that to the average company in the stock market, which usually has a P/E ratio around 20 or 25, NVIDIA looks incredibly expensive. You are paying nearly 3 times the market average for every dollar of profit. But here's where it gets interesting. Why would anyone in their right mind pay $72 for $1 of profit? Are they crazy? Not necessarily. This is where we have to look at growth. Imagine you have 2 businesses you can buy. Business A makes $1 of profit this year, and everyone knows it will make exactly $1 of profit every year for the next 20 years. Business B makes $1 of profit this year, but it is growing so fast that next year it might make $5, and the year after that it might make $20. Which one would you pay more for today? Obviously, Business B. You are willing to pay a high price today because the earnings in the future are going to be much, much higher. This is exactly what is happening with NVIDIA. The market isn't looking at what NVIDIA earned last year. It's looking at the billions of dollars in orders for AI chips that are stacked up for the next 5 years. When you see a high P/E ratio like NVIDIA's, it tells you that the market expects massive, explosive growth. If NVIDIA meets those expectations and their profits double or triple, that P/E ratio will actually come down over time, even if the stock price stays the same. This is the secret to understanding tech stocks. High P/E ratios are common in companies that are changing the world because investors are trying to get in early on future profits. Now, let's compare NVIDIA to a different kind of company to see the contrast. Let's look at a company like Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is a fantastic, stable business, but it isn't inventing AI chips. People generally drink about the same amount of soda every year. Coca-Cola might have a P/E ratio of around 25. Why is Coke's P/E so much lower than NVIDIA's? It isn't because Coke is a worse company. It's because we already know what Coke is going to do. They are going to grow slowly and steadily. There are no big surprises coming. Investors aren't willing to pay $72 for a dollar of Coke's profit because they don't expect Coke's profit to triple next year. They are willing to pay $25 because it's a safe, reliable bet. So, when you are looking at NVIDIA, you have to ask yourself, do I believe this company will grow fast enough to justify this high price? If you think AI is just getting started, then a P/E of 72 might actually be a bargain. If you think AI is a bubble that is about to burst, then 72 looks like a ripoff. The calculation itself is easy. It's just division. The hard part, and the fun part of being an investor, is deciding if the story behind the number makes sense. You now know how to find the number. You can go to any finance website, type in a ticker symbol like NVIDIA, look for the P/E ratio, TTM, which stands for trailing 12 months, and you will see that number right there. You don't even have to do the math yourself. The computer does it for you. Your job is to interpret it. Now that you know how to calculate it and what it represents, we need to talk about the cheap trap. This is the part of the video where I save you from the biggest mistake beginners make. The mistake is thinking that a low P/E ratio always means a stock is a bargain. Imagine you are walking through a parking lot and you see a brand new Ferrari for $50,000. You'd think, wow, what a deal. That's usually a $300,000 car. That is a bargain. But now imagine you see a 1998 rusted out sedan with no engine and no wheels for $500. Is that a bargain just because the price is low? No, it's cheap because it's broken. The same thing happens in the stock market. Sometimes a company has a P/E ratio of 5 or 8, which looks incredibly cheap compared to the rest of the market. But often, it is cheap for a very good reason. Maybe the company is losing customers, maybe their technology is becoming obsolete, or maybe they have a mountain of debt they can't pay back. Investors see the writing on the wall, and they sell the stock, driving the price down. The earnings might still look okay from last year, but everyone knows next year's earnings will be a disaster. This is what we call a value trap. It looks like a value, but it's actually a trap. So how do you avoid this? How do you know if a P/E ratio is actually telling you a stock is on sale? First, you must only compare P/E ratios within the same industry. This is the golden rule. You cannot compare NVIDIA's P/E to Coca-Cola's PE. That's like comparing the speed of a jet plane to the speed of a bicycle. They are different machines with different purposes. Instead, compare NVIDIA to other chip makers like AMD or Intel. If NVIDIA has a P/E of 70 and all its competitors have a P/E of 30, then you have to ask why NVIDIA is so much more expensive. Is it because they are twice as good, or is it because they are overhyped? Second, you should compare a company's P/E ratio to its own history. Look at what NVIDIA's P/E ratio has been over the last 5 years. If its average P/E has been 40, and suddenly it's at 70, the stock might be expensive relative to its own history. But if it has historically traded at 80 and now it's at 70, it might actually be a decent time to look closer. Third, and this is a pro tip, always check the forward P/E. When you look up a stock, you'll see two versions. The trailing P/E looks backward at the profit the company already made. The forward P/E uses estimates from professional analysts about what the company will earn next year. For a fast-growing company like NVIDIA, the forward P/E is often much lower than the trailing P/E. This is because everyone expects their earnings to go up. If a stock has a trailing P/E of 70 but a forward P/E of 35, that's a great sign. It means the company is growing so fast that even though it looks expensive today, it will look much cheaper by this time next year as those profits roll in. Let me tell you a quick story about a beginner named Sam. Sam saw a retail company with a P/E ratio of 6. He thought, this is amazing. The market average is 20, and this is only 6. I'm going to be rich. He put all his savings into it. What Sam didn't realize was that the company was closing half its stores, and its main product was being replaced by an online competitor. The P/E was low because the earnings part of the ratio was about to fall off a cliff. 6 months later, the company went bankrupt. Don't be like Sam. A low P/E is a starting point for a conversation, not the end of the research. When you see a low number, ask, what does the market know that I don't? And when you see a high number like NVIDIA's, ask, is the growth real enough to justify this? We have covered a lot of ground today, so let's wrap this up with 3 key takeaways to keep in your back pocket. First, the P/E ratio is simply a way to see how much you are paying for every $1 of a company's profit. It levels the playing field so you can compare companies of all sizes. It moves the conversation away from what is the price to what is the value. Second, a high P/E ratio isn't a bad thing. It is a sign of high expectations. For companies like NVIDIA, a high P/E reflects the market's belief that the company is going to dominate the future. You are paying for tomorrow's growth today. Third, never look at a P/E ratio in a vacuum. Always compare it to other companies in the same industry, Compare it to the company's own history, and always check that forward P/E to see where things are headed. One important reminder before you go: everything we discuss here on Denver Stock Lab is for educational purposes only. I am here to give you the tools to understand the market, but I am not a financial advisor. Investing is a deeply personal decision. Your goals, your timeline, and your risk tolerance are unique to you. What is a good investment for a 20-year-old might be a terrible one for someone retiring next year. Use what you learn here to study harder, ask smarter questions, and then make your own informed decisions. The work is yours to do, and that work is absolutely worth it. You are building a future for yourself, one lesson at a time. If you found this breakdown of